In this video, we are going to be looking at common fraction, decimal, and percent conversions. So when we're converting between fractions, decimals, and percents, there are some mathematical steps you can go through in order to calculate these conversions. However, there are some that are so common that it's a good idea to be familiar with those conversions so that you can access them on the top of your head and you don't have to go through that process each and every time. So the first one we're going to look at is the fraction 1/2. All right, so we're going to take a little fraction bar and we're going to show 1/2. Okay, so that looks like this. 1/2. Now, when we're converting to the decimal, what we're saying is the decimal system, of course, is a base 10 system. So it's always going to be out of 10, 100, 1,000, 10 thousandths, and so on and so forth. So right now, our fractional value is out of 2, or 1/2, or 1/2. We're going to do a conversion to tenths. What is the equivalent fraction in tenths? So I want you to think 5/10, the fractional value. So notice how I'm making an equivalent fraction out of tenths. So if I say out loud 5/10, and then I think of what does that look like as a decimal, I know it's going to be 0 and 5/10. All right, now the next conversion, we're going to look at what that is as a percent. Now we know percent is always out of 100. So we're going to then convert those tenths to be out of 100. So imagine, if you will, then that hundredths column, we have a little placeholder 0 there. So out of the hundreds, we know it's going to be 50%. So per meaning out of, cent meaning 100. So fractions can have any denominator, so it can be broken in any number of pieces. Decimals are always going to be out of tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10 thousandths, and so forth. And percents are always out of 100. All right, so using that same thinking and process, we'll go a little bit quicker through the next ones. All right, so the next fractional value you should be familiar with is going to be 1/4. So that's if I take my fraction bar and I split it into 4 equal pieces, 1 out of 4. So I'm going to convert that to be, can 4 be converted into tenths evenly? Nope, not quite, but it can be converted into hundredths. So out of 100, it would be 25 out of 100. So it looks like 25 hundredths. Now that's already out of 100 for us to the percent, so that 25 hundredths can then be written 25%. Okay, so the next fractional value we have is going to be 3/4, and that's in yellow. You probably can't see it too well, so I'll do it in black over it. So 3/4. So again, I'm going to split it into fourths, and I want 3 out of the 4. So 1, 2, 3, it looks like this. And again, I can't convert my fourths to tenths, but I can convert it to hundredths because 4 goes into 100 evenly. So that's going to be the equivalent fraction of 75 hundredths. And if I say that out loud, 75 hundredths, I know it will look like this as a decimal, 0 and 75 hundredths. And again, I'm already in hundredths, so the conversion to the percent will be pretty simple. 75 stays 75, and it's out of 100, so percent. All right, so the next one I'm going to look at is, here we go, 1/3. So 1/3 is a common fraction that you might convert. So I'm going to break my fraction bar into 3 equal pieces, and I want 1 of those 3. So now I'm going to think, okay, what fraction is equivalent to 1/3 that's going to have a denominator of 10, 100, 1,000, and so on. And actually, there isn't one, because 3 will never be a factor of 10, 100, or 1,000. It's just not one of the factors. So what's going to happen when you do a conversion of thirds over to decimals is you're going to get a repeating decimal. It's going to go on forever and ever and ever and ever. So the way that we write that, so 1/3 is going to be 0 and 3 with a bar. So the bar indicates that that digit repeats. So however many digits are underneath the bar, that's what repeats. So in this case, we would say 3 out of 10, or 3/10, because that's going to be the closest thing. So 3, but then we know it repeats. So 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. And then the way that looks as a percent, 3 out of 10, but we know that it's 33 out of 100, or 33.3. So we can then say 33.3 with a bar percent. And then that's going to be just